Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Saturday episode of Geekanomicon. This is our first inaugural one, so I'm going to let you guys know what's going on. Over the course of interesting considering the topic. Over the course of a week, we go through one topic and we explore different things in the media relating to it: video games, books, movies, you name it. We try to hit all the facets of Geek that we can find where it's related to the topic. And this week we dealt with vampires, and we dealt with each subject as it came up. You can see a variety of them there. I still haven't gotten a copy of need to get a new copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I'll be visiting my favorite bookstore probably tomorrow to pick that up. However, this is the Saturday show where we actually take a look at the subject itself and not the media related to it. And this week was vampires. So let's get right down to it. What is the Saturday show? The Saturday show is called GoG. That is Gift of Geek. And the subjects that we go over in Geekanomicon are definitely all things that pertain to geek. All things geek. Geek is no longer a four-letter word. It is something to be proud of. Right, so let's get right into the subject matter. Now, where vampires are concerned, there are some indicators that show the superstition of them has been around since before recorded history. However, vampires weren't popularized until the Christian Church cast a spotlight upon it, and that's primarily because vampires started appearing in fiction. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, Bram Stoker! No, not Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker actually followed in the footsteps of some other authors, believe it or not. The novella The Vampire by John, I'm going to butcher this last name, Polidori, surfaced in 1819, and he's pretty much credited for bringing into focus the current sophisticated, suave, even seductive variation of vampire. Going further back, the use of the word, see me in the background a little bit there, the use of the word was first brought to people's attention, at least in the English language, around 1734. But after more and more of the world started coming together and being explored, it became evident that vampires and of different variations have been around in mythology and folklore for quite a bit longer. And it's never been really proven where that origin point is worldwide. Many cultures have stories about vampires, but we're here for what is the true gift of geek surrounding them. So why do we find them attractive and devour books, movies, and games about them? Well, that's where the gift of geek comes in. You may have heard of similar venues discussing this, but we've narrowed our list to 3 things geek that make vampires cool. I'm going to start off with immortality, but not the reason you think. You probably think, ooh, the allure of being alive forever. No, that's cool, but not really what I want to focus on. What I really want to come down to is you have a character that's been around for a long time. That author, that creator has a standpoint to go, oh, I've got a playground that is just a little bit bigger than the standard mortal, who's only been around for a scant amount of years and really has to deal with the time period. So vampire, you're not stuck with their background being in the current time period. It can go way back. Take Buffy, for instance. Angel has been around since a long time, actually, and so has Spike. Dracula himself was actually quite older than was let on, well, not let on, but if the origin standpoint for where everybody says Bram got it from, it was actually a little bit further back. So vampires themselves are a literary playground for creators and authors that is just too irresistible not to actually put them in there. That's why they're rampant throughout urban fantasy. If you got an urban fantasy series running, there is bound to be a vampire in there from some sort or another, because it's an easy transition to the past. Number 2, wardrobe. Gotta say, no matter what vampire medium I'm looking at, whether it's a novel, a book, a video game, they look pretty freaking cool. Even Bunnicula over there on the far left, you gotta admit, it looks kind of dark and morbid for a bunny rabbit, but at the same time, cool. The cool factor of that wardrobe, it's not just a wardrobe, it's the gadgets they have, you name it. They just are given, again, this comes back to the creators, this, I am the centerpiece, don't ever anybody else try to take that away from me. And finally, our third thing for why they sink in with the geek vibe in all of us. Over-the-top deaths. Now, I've gone into this a few times over the course of this week, but even in Buffy and in Blade, when they're killing off a really easy vampire, the scenes just look really cool. And it takes a lot to take a vampire out. Even their minions take a little bit of effort. And whether it's in a game, or a novel, or a movie, each death scene has a moment that you're sitting there going, oh wow, it really takes a lot to take these guys out. So, whoa. That was cool. Glad I'm not them, but whew, it took a lot to get them out of the picture. So that's a rundown of our first week of Geekanomicon. I have, as I noted on the other channel, have a new microphone in front of me. It's going to be helping me out quite a bit. I found out when I did my other channel for Badge Hunting Anonymous that, whew, this microphone was picking up quite a bit. My neighbor's outside, my fan that was blowing, so this time I'm just doing it, and I'm bearing the heat while I'm doing the video. So next week, guys, we are going to be doing a new topic. Vampires will come around again. I've even had complaints from a certain editor of mine that I didn't bring up Twilight, but I decided, even though I have nothing against Twilight, it just didn't fit this venue this week, because I had wanted to focus on 2 books, one being Bram Stoker and one Bunnicula. Really didn't want to showcase that many books. I wanted to showcase different mediums, and I'm sorry Bunnicula took Twilight's place, but Twilight will be coming around next time we bring up vampires. But keep in mind, when I do bring up vampires again, it'll be a little bit different topic. I didn't even touch on one of my favorite vampire novels, which is current, called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which is actually kind of cool. Movie, not so much, but the book was actually really well done. If you haven't taken a look at Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, definitely take a look at it, and also read the author's new book, Unholy Night, which is utterly fantastic, and I'll feature on this channel at some point or another in the future. But I know you're all chomping at the bit trying to figure out what next week's topic is going to be. Not going to tell you yet. This week I wanted to be kind of easygoing and say, okay, this is the topic. Here we go. Made it kind of obvious. Next week, it's not going to be very obvious. Well, it might be about midweek, but for the most part, I'm not going to be as vocal about what it is. On Saturday, you can tune in and find out if you're right about the topic. And if you have any topics you think I should do a whole week on, let me know in the comments below, and I will see what I can do. Otherwise, I will see everybody in the near future, and thank you for watching our first week on Geekanomicon. And that is all I have to say.